Welcome everybody to our closing ceremony. This is officially the end of the Ideathon. Well, after the slideshow. Thank you guys so much for participating. And yeah, let's get started. So first, we have a quote like we started the opening ceremony. Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower, also said by Steve Jobs. Throughout the course of this Ideathon, all of you showed that you are all leaders and all of you have amazing innovation skills. Aksa and I personally really loved all of your projects and all of them were great to watch. If I'm being honest, our original plan was to watch like maybe the first few and then not really the rest. But we were so interested by all of your projects that we stayed and watched every single one of them and we loved all of them equally. They were all amazing.
And to kind of just go off of what Shilpi said, thank you for all of you. Thank you guys for participating and putting your heart and soul into your projects, because this Ideathon would not have been what it is without your support and your help and your enthusiasm. Unfortunately, our workshop speakers aren't here right now, but we would like to thank them if they do end up watching this video along with our judges. And here are all our sponsors and all the people that we collaborated with. Well, as most of you know, I'm the founder of the Orchid Organization, and Shilpi is the founder of the Lightbulb Foundation. Medi Pocket was our opening speaker, and LFR International held a workshop with SA being the sponsor for the People's Choice Prize, and Caring Crowd being our main primary sponsor for the first, second, and third prizes. And in fact, we even have a speaker representing Caring Crowd.
So, hi, everyone. Hi, thank you so much for allowing me to be here. Thank you, Shilpi and Aksa, for hosting this and for hosting me. I'm so thankful for you guys for allowing us to be part of your initiative and to allow Caring Crowd to be part of you guys. So thank you so much. I will do a share screen so you guys can see our presentation to learn more about Caring Crowd and how it fits into the future of healthcare. So I'm going to start sharing my screen now. And it should be working right here. Perfect. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. I'm going to go into presentation mode then. All righty. So Caring Crowd, we are proudly sponsored by Johnson & Johnson. And just to give a brief intro to who I am, my name is Rachel, of course, and I have a background in global health and in healthcare. I have both a 2 masters and a bachelor's in healthcare. And in regards to that, that's how I got integrated into Johnson & Johnson in the first place. I was an intern, and then now I've been working with Caring Crowd for officially a few months, working with John directly, and I volunteered previous to that for about a year. So if anybody is ever interested in, learning more about Caring Crowd in regards to like how to be involved, you can start right away just as a volunteer. But in the meantime, I want to go over just quickly, our table of contents so that way you guys know what I'm going to be presenting on. First is going to be an introduction to what the future of healthcare looks like, at least from my perspective, and maybe you guys would be able to resonate with this as well. And then next, I'm going to start talking about Caring Crowd, more specifically what it is, and then I'm going to say how you guys can make a difference today in getting involved. And next is going to be our team and our contact information in case anybody wants to get started right away, and of course some concluding remarks. So to start, the future of healthcare is guided by the Sustainable Development Goals. These goals were created by the United Nations and many other partners to be able to look to see where we're going to be at least by 2030, but if not, down the road. And based on what I have seen and what many other companies, nonprofit organizations, and the governments are going towards is trying to find goals that we can all align to make the world a better place. And with that, there are some things that healthcare is being driven by. And right now, healthcare is going to be community driven. And I think that's going to be the future of healthcare, even for the long term. I mean, we have YouTube, we have TikTok. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I love TikTok. I have my own TikTok. And I'm really excited to even like just talk about that really quickly. But I've been able to see like a lot of educational platforms to be able to get young people thinking about healthcare early on. And to our left is a program, it's an app to be able to help people disseminate between information, what's right, what's wrong. And that's even driven by the community. There's like forums. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Discord by chance, but it's kind of similar in that way. And this is ran by a nonprofit that I happen to be connected to called Ushahidi, and really excited that they are doing this, for the long term for healthcare. Next is also seeing like how healthcare is starting to become socially distant. That's kind of coincidental, thinking about the pandemic, but it is really starting to become that way. From telemedicine with Unite for Health, that is a nonprofit organization that Caring Crowd has helped sponsored, and they are delivering telemedicine by being able to talk to patients who are like in really rural areas in Cameroon. And then on to my right is Franciscan Healthcare. That's my own doctor. And I've been able to make appointments just online and talking to my doctor via Zoom. And this was before the pandemic. And then down at the bottom with Amazon, they're starting to deliver pharmaceuticals. So that way you can get your prescription drugs just delivered to your door right away. So whether it was like due to the pandemic or not, I think the future of healthcare is starting to become socially distant on its own. And then lastly is seeing how the future of healthcare is becoming more interactive through games. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a huge Pokemon Go fan. I'd like to call myself a Pokemon master. But I think that the important part here is that with games, you're able to track your healthcare in regards to maybe your physical activity or through your heartbeat measurements. Like they're starting to become more interactive in a fun way. And that's where I feel the future of healthcare is going in a number of different ways. It started with the Fitbit. Now we're on to interactive games on your apps. On my left, it's called is an app called the Institute for Social Empowerment through Entrepreneurship and Knowledge. Short form is iSeek. And this was an app developed by Purdue University, the Krannert School of Management, and it focuses on inclusive growth to help women gain access to businesses, to be able to help them gain skills to be able to open their own businesses by playing a game. So the future of healthcare is growing in many different ways. And even through division and conquering, this was my own share screen that I took for this app called Folding at Home. This is an app that helps divide the workload of looking at trying to find potential vaccine therapeutics for COVID-19 specifically. That's what this project is about. And what this does is use a lot of different computers to be able to help find potential vaccines. And this just works in the background of your computer. And anybody could just download this. This was done by a few universities and partnerships. So basically, the future of healthcare is being divided, it's being socially distant, yet it's also still interactive and becoming much more convenient. If I were to sum it up in one word, the future of healthcare is convenient. And so is Caring Crowd. And what do I mean by that? Well, first, what is Caring Crowd? Caring Crowd is a free-to-use platform crowdfunding source to be able to help nonprofits get funds for their specific projects that all have the potential for great health outcomes. And this is one example that I took. This was a screenshot actually just yesterday. And on the right is about helping to support this project and being able to see where the future of healthcare is going in regards to fundraising. It fits in the fundraising space. And where would it fit in the future of healthcare as guided by the Sustainable Development Goals? In 11 different areas. Caring Crowd projects have contributed to 11 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And what we have been able to accomplish with these has been remarkable, starting from poverty to helping helping girls in Kenya receive like education on the healthcare, to even helping to fix broken lead pipes in Zimbabwe. There's a lot of different projects that are on Caring Crowd, and how they can help contribute to the future of healthcare. And of course, healthcare is all integrated with all of these, whether it is just having clean water or even just having a better outdoor environment with less pollution in the air, you know, like there's a lot of different ways that Caring Crowd has been able to fit into the future of healthcare. And Caring Crowd is a different way of donating. Of course, we have GoFundMe and Kickstarter and Facebook fundraiser. Those are all great apps. However, what Caring Crowd does is focus on global health specifically. And with that, we've been able to win innovative awards because of the way that our platform is run and who reviews our platform. There's a lot of credibility that goes with Caring Crowd, and I'm going to mention it a little bit, but I just wanted to highlight that there is a lot of people that have that personal connection that people can connect to with Caring Crowd, and being able to have projects and pledges that matter to everybody to be able to move the world forward. So what is Caring Crowd doing actually? So this is an example that I put together. This project was done by a group of high school students, much like yourselves. And this student that I happened to get to know, Vamshi Singhdi, he worked, he's mentored by a staff member at Telugu Association of Greater Cincinnati. And they're having groups of students create projects on Caring Crowd that have some sort of healthcare focus, and they use Caring Crowd to be able to make this happen. And as a result, what they did was raise $3,000 and over $3,000 for their one initiative. And then for like another group of students I'm working with, you know, they have another like $2,000 that they're raising. And what this project specifically did was help 30 villages get access to healthcare in rural India, which I thought was amazing. And I think, not to cover this up, I'm going to send you guys over to the left here. So this is what their project looks like. And it was just completed 18 days ago because I took this screenshot just yesterday. So it was really great to be able to see that real impact that you can make by following this project and by creating one your own, whether that is working with a nonprofit that you're already working with, or even just getting onto the Caring Crowd site and saying like, hey, I want to be able to help this nonprofit here in Zimbabwe or in Kenya. You can do that. It's definitely possible. And together, we are making a difference. With Caring Crowd, we've been able to fundraise over 2.5 million. We have 18 currently active projects. So no matter what, whenever you're on the site, there's never going to be a day that we're not looking for those who are trying to be able to help these global health projects move forward. And on our website, we almost are getting to 15,000 members, active members, which is amazing. And we have been able to help 63 countries. So on my next slide, it's actually going to be the map. Yes. So this is the map of all the different projects and initiatives that we've been able to span across the world. And there's actually a lot, like right here, even though it just has one dot, there's been over like 500, and so there should be 500 dots, but there's 63 to be able to represent the 63 countries. But we've been able to help touch over 1.2 million lives with this platform, and also received a lot of donations that were also matched sometimes by Johnson & Johnson. And with that, yeah, that's just the 63 countries. So this is just the map of our impact, you know, spanning from Guam to Japan. Like it's really remarkable. And sometimes a lot of people are like, well, you know, we understand global health, you know, that it's a lot about like helping people overseas, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the case. There are a lot of projects here in the United States that people can help with too, and have projects on. These are 3 that are currently accepting pledges right now, one of which is only $10 short. So anybody can go on there, donate $10 and help really make a difference by completing somebody's project. Like, how cool is that? One close to my home, which is here on the left, is Fighting Hunger in Indianapolis. I'm from Indiana, so I'm really hoping this one pulls through just as well. And like Kickstarter, Caring Crowd has a deadline. You can set your deadline from 15 days to as late as 90 days. But if you're not setting this deadline, it's just like Kickstarter where you get all of your funding back. So it's kind of like an all or nothing thing. And it's been able to be successful. We've had 91% of all these projects be successful. And that's where we think that fundraising is starting to change. Like, we want people to be able to see this as an urgent matter, because healthcare is, sometimes people's lives are at stake with these projects. I know in one case with the nonprofit that I was serving specifically on, the organization's called JB Dundallo, and they were helping to fix the broken water pipes in this rural clinic in Agus, Zimbabwe. And if they were not given any clean water, people were dying almost every week. So it was really important that this project was going to take place and it was going to be successful, so that way we could save lives. And I think that's the case that's currently happening even now during COVID-19. Most of these that are currently taking place are because, people are going hungry amidst the pandemic. But with some help, and just a little bit goes a long way. There's a lot of potential to be able to save lives and to really make a difference, whether you are helping nonprofits out in India or even closer to home, like here. So how would you use Caring Crowd? Well, you could do it in really one of two main ways. You could run a campaign as a project owner, and here's the list of ways to do that. And then, of course, there's not the list of ways, but the list of steps in order to do that. And also you can make a pledge, which is more or less making a donation. And the reason why we call them pledges is because pledges, just like I was talking about with Kickstarter, are not turned into donations until after the project succeeds. So that's why we say, you're making a pledge. But once the project is closed and it's succeeded, then it's turned into donations. And with that, you can also see your own impact, kind of like your own mini foundation. What you were able to do is see where you have been able to make a difference. And you can also count like how many lives that you've been able to touch, whether that's helping them, with water, or with, just having access to healthcare. Like it's really amazing and interactive way to be able to make a difference. Even with just donating $1. That's what I do, actually. Every single project that I come into contact with, because of the way that we interact with our stakeholders and our nonprofits, is that we get to talk to them. Every single one I meet, I always donate $1. So it's really cool. And you're still able to make an impact in that powerful way. And so if you're thinking to yourself right now, well, I want to do this, and I feel like I need a little bit more guidance first. Well, good thing that we have is project guides and social toolkits to be able to help you market your nonprofit, to be able to run this campaign successfully, and also just a way to be able to navigate the platform a lot quicker and a lot easier. We have both project guides and social toolkits available. And as we go through this, and as we start seeing like people submitting projects for approval and to be able to launch, what we do is we send them for review to our advisory panel. And our advisory panel is made up of public health professors. So for those who are really excited about going to MIT or Harvard or wherever you want to go, your projects are getting reviewed by these professors. And you could even reach out to them and ask, like, hey, is there a way that, my project is meeting your expectations? And they fill in to say, like, they want to make sure that your project is successful and your project is well thought out, and they are there to help you as much as they are there to like help us navigate, what projects are good for being approved. So it's really a really interactive way, and it is different from GoFundMe in that aspect, where you are being able to connect with us, the Caring Crowd team. You're able to connect with an advisory panel who is doing this pro bono, which means that they are not getting paid to take the time to be able to review these projects for us. And it's just a remarkable way to be able to get in touch with healthcare and the future of healthcare, because these are the professors that are teaching students in college or even in graduate school every day, sometimes even medical school. So it's really a good thing to be able to be interactive and just to be integrated into the global health society. So how can you make a difference? Well, there are three important distinct ways. One is champion a project. You can become a campaign owner, or you can share a campaign with your network by either through Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok even. You know, that would be really cool. I would love to see somebody do a TikTok. I'll be watching. Or you can make a donation or in the form of a pledge. And then you can also, what's really cool is that there's also a interactive feature to be able to send somebody a gift card. And that's done in two ways. You can either pay for somebody's nonprofit and do it in their name, or you can allow them to choose a nonprofit of which you want to donate to. And you get to send them a gift card, a e-gift card, you know, to thank them, or for a happy birthday or Mother's Day. I know I've done one before as a happy birthday gift. So so it's a really good way to stay engaged on the platform. And if you're not sure, we're happy to match you to a project or a nonprofit, or there's no limit of ideas. When I started, I was just a volunteer and I didn't have a nonprofit or a project in mind. I just kind of wanted to help out in whatever way I can. So it's always a good way to be able to just get involved and just say, hey, I'm here. I don't know what I can help with, but I want to do something. That works for us. And so this is our team. Of course, I've mentioned John Brennick, who is the co-founder of Caring Crowd. And we also have Krista, Shijin, and myself. And you can always email us at help@caringcrowd.org. All of us have that email password, so there's always somebody that's going to be able to answer you right away. And lastly, you know, from all of us, thank you so much. I would like to leave you guys. I know you started with a quote, and I would like to end with a quote. It's one of my favorites that I live by myself. It's by J.R.R. Tolkien. And it is, all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. So thank you so much. I don't know if you guys have any questions, but I am open to questions. And I think that since you, Shilpi and Aksa, have my PDF copy of the slides, I'm happy to share the slides with everybody as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much for speaking. We really enjoyed it. So yeah, does anyone have any questions? I think there was a question asked in the chat before. Have you ever started a GoFundMe page to raise money as well?
Yes, of course, most definitely. No, and just to clarify, this is not to knock on GoFundMe or Kickstarter. You know, of course, you know, being a platform ourselves, you know, we look to our leaders in the industry and network with them as well. So yeah.
I have a question as well. What is your favorite project that you have worked with or helped fund, if you could choose one?
Sure. So the student one that I put in my slide was one of my favorites that I've worked with. I love seeing high school students. So like Vamshi, he's 16 years old, and you know, to see young people just be active in the community, like that was so heartwarming and inspiring. Like I just thought that was one of the best. I know he has a few student groups that are doing similar projects. And of course, I'm very fond of my own nonprofit that I've been able to help fund on Caring Crowd as well. So yeah.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? Feel free to send them over the chat or unmute yourself if you would like.
Yeah, I have a question. So you talked about how you were a volunteer before you became an employee of Caring Crowd. Can you tell us a little bit about how high schoolers can volunteer for Caring Crowd?
Of course. Oh yeah, definitely. So I think in one of the slides, yeah, so here's a way that you can do this, and this can all be done through volunteer. You can do this by becoming a project owner. So you can start creating a draft, and you could add your friends as project partners right away. And so that way, as soon as you guys create accounts, it's not like you have to submit for approval right away. You know, you can just get yourself acquainted with the website, and you can match. You can either get matched to a nonprofit by just emailing us if you don't have a nonprofit in mind or anything, or if you do have a nonprofit, you can get in touch with them and they can email us, and we'd be happy to set up, you know, anyway. Otherwise, a way to get involved is to see if your schools are interested in doing projects. Of course, with education has positive health outcomes. So we'd be glad to have like a student group get on and fundraise for their schools. Like that would be remarkable. Particularly, of course, you know, having healthcare outcomes, you know, whether that could be like physical education outdoors in the inner cities, or if there's a way to help, get access to medicine for students who may not be able to afford it. We have had both college student programs that we're developing right now with the universities, and high school are doing this mostly on their own. A lot of them have been able to just get their students to volunteer in that way. But of course, we're happy to just, to just see the interested people and seeing like what other things that they could be interested in. Maybe it could even be ambassadors. You guys want, if anybody's really interested in getting on social media and promoting Caring Crowd, we'd love that too. That would be amazing, especially on TikTok.
All right, there was another question asked in the chat. Since this is a nonprofit organization, how did it start off? How did you start with it?
Yeah, so Caring Crowd is sponsored by Johnson & Johnson, so it's not its own nonprofit. It is part of the company, and that really would be best answered by John, but I could still answer for him. So the way that John and one of his partners came up with the idea while they were working was trying to be able to just find a way to apply a known entity, which is like crowdfunding, because GoFundMe was here before Caring Crowd. Caring Crowd has only been around for about 5 years. And applying it to global health, because that both of them like are very passionate about global health. And then they just had this Shazam moment where there's like, well, why don't we just combine something that's already out there with putting it into a field that has not been there before. So sometimes the best innovations aren't necessarily like, the big Facebook ideas. Sometimes it's just making like just a little bit difference, just a tweak, and then that can just take off immensely and have such huge impact.
Thank you. I definitely agree with that. Okay, one more question. I don't think there are any more after that. Okay, there are a couple more.
Sure.
Where did the idea for this come from, if you know, and are you planning to start any other nonprofits yourself?
So to answer the first question, the idea came up from John, who is the co-founder, and it was and from one of his partners. They were the ones that came up with the idea 4 or 5 years ago. 5 years ago, yeah. And both of them were Johnson and Johnson employees. Yeah, so they were already working in this healthcare space for a while, and they were able to just get it up and running. A lot of it was just the grind of doing it themselves to be able to put up the tech platform. But nowadays, we're lucky to have both Kristen and Shijin, who have been fantastic at helping us with the IT and with like the marketing and the web designing of the platform. And wait, there was a second part of that question. Can you repeat that?
Are you planning to start any nonprofits yourself?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question, because I am the chief of staff of JB Jandalo, which is one of the organizations that I founded because of Caring Crowd. And then I also am on the board of directors of 2 more. So if I were to start my own nonprofit, it wouldn't be for a few years at least, just because I'm already involved with 3 of them, and as a significant leader for all 3 of them.
All right, thank you. I think that's it for our questions. Thank you so much again for being a speaker. We really loved listening to it, and Caring Crowd sounds like an amazing organization.
It is. No, I'm really glad that you guys are here and to be engaging with this. And I love the questions. Feel free to email at help@caringcrowd. You can get a hold of me that way. Love to follow up if anybody else has any questions later on, or if they want to get involved. We'd love it. So
thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your night. And thank you so much, Aksa and Shilpi. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you
Take care,
again.
stay safe and stay healthy.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So thank you so much for Rachel for such an amazing presentation. And now we can go to the awards section of our closing ceremony. So time for the prizes. So Shelby decided it would be a good idea to make the prizes incessantly long to find.
Yeah, just as a warning. And the winner of Judges and People's Choice is Jessica. Yay. You
You
won
guys
the
can
most votes from our judges and from our participants as well. Aksa, would you like to talk more about it?
yeah. So the judges kind of really commended you for working alone and being so confident in what you were presenting, despite the fact that you didn't have a team. And so they were really like surprised by the level of confidence that you had and the fact that you were able to articulate your idea in such a clear manner. And they just really loved it in general. I don't know if Jessica's here right now, but
Sorry.
Yeah, congratulations.
moving on to the next prize.
Right. Third place goes to Florbus and Health Home. This is the one that was a tie. So congratulations, both of you. Florbus was commended for being really futuristic, which did align with our theme. The judges said that it was the most, they felt that it was the most futuristic and advanced. One judge in particular loved it a lot because she finds the waiting times at doctor's appointments really long. So she found this a really great alternative. And Health Home was another favorite by the judges because of its functionality and also because of the fact that like you do not have to go to a certain lab specialist to get all of your results analyzed and everything. So yeah, this was a tie for third place, which was really surprising since we averaged all of the scores. So you guys had the exact same score to the 10,000th place. So congratulations, guys.
Yeah, it was really close. All the places were off by like point something. So really good job. Both the judges, all the judges, all five of them really loved the ideas. And they couldn't even decide themselves which one was better when we decided to kind of split it from a judge's vote. I'm kind of despising Shilpi right now with incessant long transitions. And in second place, we had the Bellevue Ballers. So congratulations. Your idea was great. I mean, just a prototype. It looks like R2D2 if any of you guys are Star Wars fans. Yeah, really good job. They really liked the idea of the patch in the back of the neck. Definitely, that was something they said that stood out to them, and they thought was very futuristic, which fit the theme. I don't know, Shilpi, do you have one to add something?
Yeah, they also found that you answered the questions really confidently and that you did know what you were doing while you were presenting, which is something that wasn't seen in a lot of the presentations, which we understand. Nerves are a big thing. That wasn't a big deal, but they really commended you, especially for being young and that you were able to confidently present your solution and you had no doubts while you were even answering questions that were given to you on the spot. So congratulations for that. And finally, first place, Aksa, click again, goes to Vascam. This was another this was also a favorite by all of our judges. All of them agreed that this was futuristic. It was actually possible. It is cost effective. All of the solution details were completely outlined. All of the advantages and everything, they were very specific and everything was perfect, really. Like there were only a few negative comments that they made about it, and that was just more so like what would the applications be and stuff that would occur stuff that was more in the like futuristic realm, like what's actually going to happen in 50 years. Those are really the only negative comments that they had. Everything else, they loved it. You guys had the highest score in each individual section on top of having the highest average score. Aksa, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I want to especially commend you because I know when I was telling you guys to get ready to present, you were talking about how you had some difficulties with getting all your team members in time and you were having technical problems. So just I want to commend you for the fact that you were able to go above that and you were able to win first place. So congratulations. And then lastly, I want to thank all of our hosts and program coordinators. On Saturday, when Shilpi and I had to step out, Ayan, Rebecca, and Nakaprana stepped up and helped coordinate some of the workshops if you guys were there.
So thank you guys. This is again all of our social media in case you're interested in keeping up with an events reel that we will be posting a bit later.
And this is also where we're going to be posting more information about a future ideathon if we do plan to do that next year, and just the videos for this ideathon if you do want to go back and look at some of the workshops or just the opening ceremony.
And this is a tiny URL that we will be sending over the Slack just for you guys to give feedback on what you think we could have done better, what you liked about our ideathon, if we should continue, and if we did continue, would you like to be a participant in the future events, etc., etc. Thank you guys again so much for participating, and thank you for creating such amazing presentations. Yeah, like we know we reached out to a lot of you, not too in advance, so all of your presentations were amazing, even the ones that didn't win any awards today. All of them were incredible. I personally loved all of them. All of them were amazing.
I think you guys made this entire ordeal worth it, because Shilpi and I have been stressing for the last 2 weeks trying to plan this event. But thank you guys again. Thank you. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend. Thank you for spending your entire weekend doing this.